You guys, this is worse than you could even think of. This is worse than you. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. They're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of donations every day.
Hello everyone, I'm Cerebral and this is Cerebral Talks TV, where I talk about all types of things. A lot of you liked it when I talked about science fiction things and some things that were conspiracy theories. Well, I'm not going to start a separate channel for that. This is, again, Cerebral Talks TV. I talk about a lot of different things, and I stumbled across this video and I had to share it with you. I have heard some things, okay? I don't always talk about it on my channel. Some of the things I talked about in my more recent videos regarding aliens and the Antarctic and things like that, I had heard of some of those things before, but I never got into it. But now I am. I am on this channel. Okay. And again, I stumbled on this. This woman said that she met someone who works at the blood donation center where you give your plasma when you give your blood and they pay you for your blood. That is often in poor areas sometimes or in the inner cities and things like that. Well, I want you to hear what a person told her. Now, she says on the video, as you can see, she says it's for entertainment purposes because you just got to be careful because it's not 100. She doesn't know all of the facts. She just knows what someone told her and you don't want to get in trouble. Okay, but this is real. This is a true story. It says, what do the blood plasma banks do with the donated blood? An employee told me and showed me some information. Sit back and listen to what she says, and we're gonna get into it, baby. I have a few things to share with you, but listen to this.
I'm an investigative person. I can get in and out of places, and for some odd reason, I just have this ability to find out information and get information, and people will tell me all kinds of stuff. I was talking to this other person, I can't say names or anything, find out that we knew each other. She looked at me and she goes, I know you from somewhere. I know you. And we discussed some past things. She goes, oh, that's where I know you. This person happens to work in a blood bank. And she told me some things. What they're doing with the blood. Okay, here's the thing. And she showed me too. I couldn't take pictures. She wouldn't let me take the pictures of the documents. You know how you go to a blood bank or you give blood or plasma or any of that stuff and they tell you all the things they're checking for? But she showed me. She had all the paperwork. She had the training and all this. I couldn't even believe it. I asked her, I said, please show me. But I wasn't allowed to take pictures because it's like, or take a proof. But I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm working on it. It says in fine print. And some of fine print, and then on another paperwork, that they're also checking for other things in the blood. But it doesn't specifically. I asked her, I said, well, wait a minute, what are they? They already say what they're checking, what they're doing, cross mat, all that. What's the other stuff they're looking for? They don't really tell that. I said, yeah, but it says right here, they're checking for other things in the blood. Don't you think they should tell you exactly what they're looking for in your blood or your plasma or whatever the heck it is you're giving? They've already covered, it specifically covers HIV, hepatitis, parvo, this parvo thing, all the other stuff that they really look for, that if you got, you can't give their blood. But then it says, oh, we're also checking for other things. What other things? How come they have to? I said, why are they saying that? But they're not telling you what the other things that they're checking for. And she goes, well, because they have to put that on there for you're giving permission for them to take your blood. That's just that's like a little hidden loophole. I asked her, I said, does anybody ever question this one bullet thing on here that says this? She goes, no, because all the people that come in that give blood or plasma, she said, they're usually broke. They need money, and she said, so they don't, she goes, half the people are so illiterate. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, they're so illiterate that most of the time, all the stuff has to be read to them because they don't even understand. So you guys, It's in the document. It's in the stuff that they are looking for, but people don't realize it. People don't know. People don't know what's going on. I'm getting that. She goes, you know, we're hiring. We're hiring. And I went, oh, are you? And she told me all about the job. And I'm going, you know, that's the best way to get in there and get some information on what's going on. I found out how much blood and plasma they get. There are these places, thousands of them, all over the United States. I know this is going to sound crazy. Blood and that stuff is not going to what you think it's going for. Not all of it. Nephilim they like that. What do you think they're surviving on? When we're talking about vampires and all that stuff and their blood banks and all that stuff, we're seeing it in the movies. This stuff is being given and sent and done. They're doing it. I'm not kidding. I'm learning where and what everything's going through. So I went ahead and I applied. Let's see what happens. I want to see. Because I want to get in there and get some information. I want to find out what's really going on. This won't be the first time that I did this. That I went into a situation to get the scoop. I mean, you guys, this is worse than you could even think of. This is worse than you. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. That stuff that they're taking is not going to what you think it's going for. They're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of donations every day. And it's not going for what you think it's going for.
Oh my goodness. Did you just hear what she said? Did you hear what she said? Thousands. They're getting thousands of donations of blood every day. And that it's not going all to what you think it is being used for. So now you have to sit back and question things. What would need blood? Now, she mentioned the Nephilim in her video. I don't fully believe in the Nephilim. Some people think the Nephilim are still alive, but I'm not going to rule anything out. I always say anything is possible, but she mentioned before, they put things in movies. We have seen so many different types of movies, and sometimes a lot of movies have a very similar theme, a lot. And a lot of people would want you to think that certain things I said before, they think is science fiction is actually true. You do have to wonder, what is the blood being used for if it's not going to people who need blood transfusions and things like that? Who would want this blood and what would they need the blood for? Also, she mentioned before that the lady said half the people coming in can barely read. They don't know what's going on. They just donate the blood. We get the blood. They sign the paperwork. Don't even probably read all of what they're signing. And ta-da! We got the blood. So let's get into it a little bit more of possibilities. Possibilities. Now, what I'm about to show does not mean that is true, but it's just things that we have heard before. So let's get into it, okay? I couldn't help but think of the Midnight Meat Train. I love this movie, Something Serious. It is on Tubi. A lot of people, I see people will say online, where can I watch this? Where can I watch this? I don't know if it's on Amazon Prime. You might have to buy the DVD. But if you want to see this for free, I believe it's still on Tubi, which is a free movie streaming service, okay? The Midnight Meat Train, I'm going to have to spoil it a little bit because a lot of people who don't hear about certain things when it comes to aliens, the occult, and all types of stuff, they're going to miss something when it comes to this, okay? The Midnight Meat Train, in my opinion, was about the reptilians. I'm not saying reptilians are real, but a number of you know what that is, okay? And if you look closely in the movie, you notice the reptilian star about 3 times, but the average person wouldn't pick up on that. They wouldn't notice it in the movie because a lot of people don't even know about the reptilian star. But being that I know about it, I caught it in the film 3 times. Okay, the midnight meat train, missing people, the train in New York City and around the whole country, people disappearing on the train, and this man finds out what's really going on. As a matter of fact, stay with me, y'all. Don't leave off this video. We're going to delve into a few things, okay? But I wanted to start off with the midnight meat train. I'm going to play a clip for you. Okay, now because of copyright issues, I will pause it every couple of seconds, but I'm going to explain some things to you when it comes to the midnight meat train. Because again, if your blood is going places, who needs this blood if it's not other humans? What are they using with the blood? The possibilities, God knows what. But look at this, and I'm going to explain to you what's going on, okay? What's going on? The midnight meat train. Okay, he's been following this man. He thinks this man is a butcher or he works at the train station, but he has a feeling about him, so he's following him. Okay, that's his girlfriend who thought he was crazy, but she went to the butcher's house, and now she's looking in that suitcase because her boyfriend has been telling her about what he saw the butcher do. Keep looking. Okay, so she saw a record of the trains, the conductor, the men working for the train station from the 1900s, early 1900s, okay?
I just received a report from an officer on scene. I went to the room you gave me. There's nobody there.
But that can't be right. No, he's a butcher. Leon says that he slaughters people. He kills them. He's seen it, photographed it.
What are you talking
I
about?
know it sounds crazy.
Now, if you're going to watch this film, I'm telling you now, if you look closely, that cop, she's wearing a necklace with the reptilian star on it.
I didn't believe it either, but I was in his room. I saw the tools he uses. It's a timetable with a check for every murder going back 100 years. If you do not go back with me, I'm gonna go back with someone else.
And you'll be arrested, Miss Jones.
Cops in on it.
That cop detective,
Miss Jones. I want the book, Miss Jones.
Tell me what's fucking going on. Now.
Do you have any idea?
Where is Jurgis? Tell me.
He's on the train. 14th Street.
Now, the cop says, do you have any idea? You girl, you don't have a clue. I'm getting chills. Give me a second. Because this movie is incredible and it's a hidden gem. She's saying, the cop is like, basically, girl, you don't have no clue. You don't have no idea what the hell is going on. Okay. Her friend Jurgis, the man who works on the train station, he's basically taken Jurgen. Now, the cop, she's the one, when people go missing, basically she's the one that writes the reports, making up stories on how people went missing, covering it up. She knows how they went missing. She knows what the hell is going on. She said, girl, do you have any idea? So she's sending her to the train. The midnight meat train after midnight or 3 a.m. or something like that. When people get on that train, you ain't never coming back home. So come on. Don't, we only got 3 more minutes for this clip and we're going to get into it a little bit more, okay?
Please, step away from the meat.
Okay, he says step away from the meat. And if you look closely, that's human beings strung up on the train. You see him? Look at it. You see it? You see the creature? Looks sort of humanoid, doesn't it? You see him?
He didn't have what it takes anymore. I envy you.
He's holding him. Holding him. He's ripping his tongue out and he's holding him with one arm. Remember, the reptilians can look human. They shapeshift. Now listen very closely to this.
Before you were born, or the birth of any other human thing, that's how long. Or longer. And now you found us. As only a few before you have. The intimate circle that keeps the secret. We protect and nurture them. And order is thereby preserved.
You heard what he said? The intimate circle that keeps the secret. We protect and nurture them, and order is preserved. Order.
It must be done to keep the world separate.
He said it has to be done to keep the worlds separate. The reptilian versus the humans. And they're stronger. If everyone on the planet found out this truth, it would be chaos.
You'll understand soon enough.
And notice he said, long before you or the birth of anything human, that's how long we've been here. And now you found us, which doesn't happen often. See how he's looking at her heart, his girlfriend's heart. He took her heart out. He wants to eat it because that's what they do. They eat human beings.
Now serve, as we all do, without question.
He said, now serve like we all do, without question. You found us, now you gonna work for us. Oh yeah, you working for us now. I took out your girlfriend's heart, we eating people, and now you're gonna serve. Reptilian star on the ring. There you go. But the average person wouldn't catch it in the film. There you go, the reptilian star.
Police say Ms. Jones and Mr. Tompkins are only missing at this point.
Okay, they put on the news, that's the cop, that they're missing. Him and his girlfriend, the girlfriend that the heart just got taken out, and he's discovered the reptilians. Now he's working, he has to, I mean, he can take his life, but he can't escape it. Now he has to work to keep the meat coming on the train, human beings, to keep order.
And meetings are scheduled with local business leaders. The meetings will include a tour of...
She's handing him the book that his girlfriend found with the train conductors. It's passed on generation to generation, the ones who have to murk up humans to give to the reptilians.
this story.
Okay, but look at her face. Look at her face. Let me zoom in. You see, she don't want to do it. She don't want to do it. They're scared to death. Scared to death. She knows what they did. They now ripped out his tongue. He can't speak anymore. took out his girlfriend's heart, she has to cover up every murder that happens in the city of the people being fed to the reptilians. And it's a very small circle. That's a look of sadness, complete fear, and that, what you gonna do? We can't do nothing. We can't do nothing. You either gonna work for them now that you found out, or you gonna die. And that's just what it is. The midnight meat train. The midnight meat train. So now that I've shown you that, okay, let's get into it. So is it a possibility? Is it a possibility that there's some secret reptilian organization that's using human blood that they need to drink? And that's what they're doing with the blood? Is that a possibility? That's one thing. Of course, we've always heard about vampires. There are a number of people on TikTok saying that there's vampire groups in New Orleans that really exist, and we've all heard about the myths and legends of vampires. But what if we were to find out that the vampire is not really a myth at all, that the vampires really do exist and they're working with the government, and the government, to keep order and peace and them keep them hidden, they are collecting the blood from the blood banks and giving it to the vampires to survive? Is that a possibility? Is it possible, like that movie I love called The Descent, that there are creatures underground, hidden in caves, yes, in the inner earth and underground, that need human blood or something to survive, and they're feeding them deceased bodies and blood from the blood banks to the things that's underground, like in that movie The Descent? Is it possible what they say about the gray aliens? The gray aliens reportedly need human DNA to form a hybrid species because they were going extinct. Do they need human blood to learn about human cells and to do something with their cloning process or hybrid process? Is that possible? And of course, we've heard about Rh negative blood, which people claim the elites who run the world are Rh negative, and they have a very rare blood type that's connected to aliens, and that they need certain types of blood. Maybe when they get sick or something, not every blood they can take. Maybe they need a certain type of blood. Maybe there's something in the blood that they need. Now, listen, I'm not saying this is all true. I'm just saying these are the things that we have heard of before. And some people say, what do they say? Something more than truth. Sometimes fiction is stranger than, I don't know, but basically it could be all real. Everything that you heard was fiction is not always fiction at all. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little bit, 3 more clips of things people have said. Let's see a little bit more about these graves and why would they maybe need human blood for some things.
Greys are not aliens. They're mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth that destroyed their version of Earth to the point where they had to go underground. They mutated. Their eyes got bigger to see in the dark and all this kind of stuff, but they had to mutate to survive. They tried cloning themselves to save their civilization, and that didn't work. Over generations, things started failing. They knew that they were basically in the process of dying out. So what they knew they needed to basically perpetuate their civilization was viable human DNA, which didn't exist anymore in their reality. But they used their advanced technology to tunnel into parallel realities, to shift into parallel worlds like ours, parallel versions of Earth that exist simultaneously with theirs, where viable human DNA was still existing. And to use that DNA through the abduction experiences to create hybrid beings from their DNA and our DNA so that their civilization would continue, would survive. So the hybrid civilizations, like Bashar's people, are actually the result of those abduction experiences and the perpetuation of their culture. But sort of as a payback for the use of that DNA, the hybrids, now like Bashar, are sharing information with us in our reality so that we might not necessarily have to go down the same destructive path
When I got out in 1989, we had cataloged 57 different species. You have individuals that look very much like you and myself that could walk among us and you wouldn't even notice the difference. You have various types of what we normally call grays. We didn't call them grays in the military, but you had at least 3 types of the grays. You had some that were much taller than we were. The unique thing that I'd like to point out for the most part is that the entities that we did catalog were in fact humanoid. Now this created a situation where the scientific community was trying to figure out why that would be the case, because you would expect that if life evolved on other planets, that they would take on some type of other being, so to speak, not necessarily look humanoid or be bipedal such as we are. But apparently we got quite a few of the species out there that are humanoid in appearance, and that creates a question that yet has to be answered by science.
What kind of stuff they have buried in those Vatican archives.
Oh man,
and
they
what
got
kind of
so
stuff
much.
is hidden from us.
Whew, listen, in those Vatican 5 miles of underground Vatican archives.
Right, that's a lot.
There's been a few people that have come out talking who have had access to these Vatican archives. They can't say specifically everything they saw, but one guy did come on a documentary on History Channel years ago and talked about the fact that they had bones of beings that weren't human. From their perspective, they weren't human bodies. They had books and texts down there that nobody's ever been able to read or access that talk about technology, flying devices, and all these other incredible things that were hidden during the Inquisitions, because during the Inquisitions, they were suppressing technology heavy because they wanted to keep their boot on the necks of the people. The Inquisitions were so brutal, they killed over 80 million people over the course of 700 years, ordered underneath the popes. That really held us back because we should have been on the moon in the 1800s if it wasn't for the Inquisitions. That alone held us back from technological advancement.
Okay, so that was it for the clips. Okay, the clips. And the reason I played the Vatican video is because he said that the Vatican archives, right? And I've heard about that, and I showed a clip before. He said that they have information down there of species, and I guess you could say aliens or different type of humans or something, civilizations that existed long before us. They have the evidence allegedly in the Vatican archives, things with technology in ancient times, all types of stuff that you can't believe, and it's locked away. It's locked away down there in the Vatican archives. Could it be that some of these civilizations didn't completely die out? Could it be that they need human blood for something? Okay, so I showed, vampire possibility, underground species possibility, inner earth type of thing, or in the cave system. Okay, the reptilian conspiracy. Okay, that. And the grays dying out and needing to form hybrid species and needing human DNA. The possibilities, there are so many different possibilities of what they could be doing with the blood. Now, even if none of that is true, the fact is they're doing something else with the blood besides what they tell you they need it for. And you have to sit back and question, what would they need with human blood besides giving it to people who need blood when they go to the hospital? Now, it's not hard for me to believe that you would collect human blood to, check out the differences in blood types, try to find cures for things, studying the blood, okay? You study the blood. We know that when blood has a lot of toxins in it, it can affect you, okay? Maybe they're trying to find cures to certain things, and there are certain blood types that can do that. I couldn't help but think of Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks, a black woman from the 1950s or 60s, or maybe even the 40s, where her family sued the government and they have won millions of dollars because her cells are called immortal cells, and they used her cells to find cures for diseases, AIDS research, everything, making money off of her cells. And they didn't tell her family for years, and she didn't give them consent. Could it be that they're using the blood because they're searching for something within the blood? They're searching for something within the blood, maybe similar to Henrietta, that maybe can cure diseases, maybe can help you live longer. Who knows? They say the life is in the blood, okay? Life is in the blood. And, your cells, maybe they want to use the blood for stem cell research. Maybe they're giving it to people, these cults. There are cults out there that like to use human flesh for stuff. Maybe they want blood for drinks. No one knows for sure. But they didn't put it in the fine print. They didn't put it in writing what else they would be using that blood for. So that is the question of today. What do you think? What do you think they're doing with the blood? What do you think they're doing with the blood? And she says she's going to work there, try to work there, and she's going to find out. But if they see those videos, they probably might fire this woman or something, because they're not going to ever. You really think that the truth would come out? Absolutely not. You would be murked before a high up official would dare allow top secret information on what's being done with the blood to go out. So this is interesting. What else are they doing with your blood at the blood bank? Leave your comments below. I want to know what you think is going on, because this was something. I have my own theories too about a lot of stuff. And a lot of people will tell you today, a lot of stuff you thought sounded crazy is not so crazy to think about. It isn't crazy at all. You think about the movies that you've seen, and a lot of these things in movies could be very, very real. Very, very real. And I might share my conspiracy theory. I don't believe that everyone is being buried. I don't believe everybody's being buried in 6 feet underground in large wooden caskets, all on top of each other for centuries. I've said it before. It wouldn't even be enough room on the earth to do it. I know people get cremated and things like that. And then a woman was busted at the something where she wasn't burying the body. She was selling the body parts to scientists. I don't know what they were doing, but they found out she gave HIV, blood and body parts to these people, and she didn't tell them. And we don't know what they were doing with the bodies and the body parts, what they wanted, the scientists and things like that. But I won't go into deep detail on what I think. But I do think it's a conspiracy when it comes to burials and things like that. But let me know. Let me know what you think. What do you think is going on? Where is all the blood going? But most of all, what do you think they're doing with the blood? Whew, this was deep. This was scary. But we don't know all the answers. So everything still has to be allegedly, because no one knows for sure. Nobody knows. But anything is always possible. But I will be reading what you say in the comment section about what you think is happening. Oh, this is going to be good. You all take care. If you decide to subscribe, please hit the bell so you know when I'm live and when I upload. And check out my shorts. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.